think we're live. Are we live? I think we are live. Let's just check in the group. Can we see me? Not yet. Where are we? Are we live? Have I sent it live? No, not yet. It's not recorded. Let's have a look if we are live. Are we live? Hello, can anybody see me? Are we live? Yes, we are live. We are live. So good evening, everybody. Here we are again. Happy Tuesday. I think I'm going to keep this slot to a Tuesday because it fits quite nicely into my schedule. So good evening. I am going to try this week to do a better job of managing the chat whilst I'm live. I see other people doing this and they make it look easy. So last week I found it a bit tricky, but I'm going to do my best. So cheers, I've got my gin and tonic. I know some of you across the pond have just finished your lunch, so sorry about the alcohol. Well, sorry, not sorry. A couple of things just before we kick off. What I'm going to be talking to you about tonight is Instagram tips. So how to grow your Instagram, and more importantly, not just growing the channel, how to attract clients on your Instagram channel. Of all the social media channels that I use, and certainly since I've run my own businesses for the last 4 years, of all the channels I use, Instagram is definitely the trickiest to get your head around. It's the one that when I'm training, live groups, they are repeatedly saying, how do you do it? What's a hashtag? What's a story? How do I make it work? How do I get people buying from me? So I'm gonna share some tips, and then we're gonna get into some Q&A. So I have got some questions from some of you. If any of you who are watching and haven't asked a question, you still want to, then just pop it below, and hopefully I will see that come up on my phone that you've asked me a question, and I'll be able to multitask. How about that? So just to let you know, we are recording this, and the purpose of recording it is, firstly, it will save down into the Facebook group anyway for anybody watching it on replay. If you are watching it on replay, be sure to add a comment, tell me, #replay, tell me that you're watching it, because then at least I know that this stuff is valuable. But the other reason that I'm recording it is I'm going to post it up onto YouTube tomorrow, because Instagram growth is a really popular YouTube topic. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, we are thinking of you. And please, again, if you're on YouTube, you can still put some comments underneath the video, and I will be checking the comments and coming back on any questions that you ask me. So what else do I need to tell you? Oh, nothing other than at the end, I've got something free to give you. So if you can bear with me, I'm going to probably stay online for about half an hour or until we run out of questions. So let's get into some detail. So Instagram. The first most important thing to remember about every social media channel is they all have a different algorithm. They all are based on different sets of rules. So if you imagine you're one of the developers at Instagram versus you're one of the developers at, say, Facebook or LinkedIn, they have different ways of thinking and they want you to do different things. The guys at Instagram, I'm sure there's girls as well, but the guys and girls at Instagram, their motivation is to build community. So everything that the Instagram algorithm is trying to do and what it rewards is behavior that builds community. So that algorithm is looking for things like likes, comments, shares, people who save your posts, people who might share your post to their story, people that might tag your story in their story. It looks for you replying to comments. It looks for you to tag people in. It's basically rewarding behavior that builds community. So think of Instagram like your friendship social media channel. It wants us to be friends. It wants us to talk. It wants us to build companionship, networking, and collaboration, I guess. You know, it likes it when two channels are regularly, like, you know, two profiles are regularly talking to each other. So that's the biggest rule. Just think about the algorithm and recognize that the algorithm on Instagram is different from every other channel. The next thing, I guess, is a really big tip for Instagram is to always use 30 hashtags. I know that sounds like a lot, and you think, why on earth would I need 30 hashtags when over on LinkedIn they tell you to only use 3? And what on earth is a hashtag even for anyway? A hashtag is not for you, and it's not even for your audience. Your hashtag is for Instagram. They want you to use those hashtags to help them know who to serve your posts to. So there are, you know, millions and millions of people. I don't have the number. There are millions of people using Instagram every minute of every day. And so Instagram needs a way to determine who should see what post. And the way it does that is through hashtags. So if you use 30 hashtags, and each one of those hashtags you have chosen to be a way of identifying who your target audience is, then that would be a good hashtag to use. And the other way to choose your hashtags is don't go for the ones that have, you know, like millions of posts, or even, you know, multiple thousands of posts. So when you look at the hashtags, it will tell you how many, is it posts a day? I can't remember, but it'll give you a number of how many people use it. And what I would say is you need to go under 50,000, because if you go under 50,000, especially if you're just a small, you know, you're just starting up your channel, don't go playing with the big boys on the hashtag like entrepreneurial quotes, for example, because you know that the really massive channels with millions of followers, they're using those hashtags. And if you use that hashtag, you will not cut through. It's too noisy. You need to go for a hashtag that's much less competitive. So go for maybe longer hashtags, maybe 2 or 3 words, that certainly when you're doing your hashtag research, you can look for the, you know, under 50,000. I would say that's a good sweet spot for a, you know, for a fairly new or growing channel. So that's a little bit about hashtags for you. The key thing to remember with your Instagram posts is you must always have a hook. So just like most social media channels, they don't show you the whole post. They only show you the first 2 lines, and then they get you to click to read the rest. So your hook is those first 2 lines. Often it's good to write a question, but it's certainly, you know, it's certainly the only chance you've got to hook in your audience. So don't waste your first 2 lines. Make sure your first 2 lines are really, really good at capturing somebody's attention. It's good to ask a question, because that draws the audience into wanting to know, oh, is she going to answer it in the comments? And then they want to click and read the rest. So make sure you always have a hook. Long posts work really well on Instagram, and you can share tips. So if you, for example, said your hook is, I'm going to share my top 10 Instagram tips, and below that you had a long post going 1 to 10 of all the tips, that would be quite a good post. That would be a post that I think a lot of people would want to read. And so then you would finish that with the last golden nugget of your post content, and that is a call to action. Don't waste a really good hook and a really good post by not having a good call to action. It could be something simple like, send me a direct message and let me know how you get on with these tips. It could be, come to my course. It could be, go to the link in my bio, where you'll see, you know, lots of other links if you use something like Linktree. So if you're wondering how to get more website traffic, something like Linktree. So just Google Linktree. And what Linktree is, you can get the free version. It allows you to put lots and lots of links just within one page, much quicker than building a landing page, and it gives you the opportunity to have more than one live link. So where should we go next? Talking of live links, actually, this is a good place to go. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do I get the swipe up? You know, on a story, how do I get to use the swipe up? Well, the fact is you can't. There are little workarounds that are quite complicated to explain, but the general rule is if you don't have 10,000 followers or more, you cannot have a swipe up link on your story. So I've got a long way to go to get that, and a lot of people have got a long way to go to get the swipe up link, but that's how you get a swipe up link on your story. Another rule of thumb is if somebody writes a comment to you, always reply. I mean, that's the same for every social channel. Always reply. If somebody replies to maybe a poll in your story, again, reply to them if it's relevant. I wouldn't reply to necessarily everything. If you've got something to say and it's interesting, I would always reply to that. We've done that. What else? Oh, I know what I need to share with you. It's about strategy. I know a lot of people who they just struggle with what to post. They struggle with what to say on what day and why to say it and how it feeds into their overall strategy. So they tend to just wing it a little bit and wait for something in their day to be interesting enough to do a story or to do a post. And what that does for your audience is it means they never know what's coming. It's always something different, and there's no real strategy behind it. So what I would say, and this ties into Karen Morlidge, you asked a question about having like a really lovely grid on Instagram and how to do that and why to do that. And this sort of ties in with that really. If you have a strategy around what you're going to post and when you're going to post it, and there is a real purpose and a thought behind it, then you can create one of those really attractive, good looking grid type, profiles where it all looks immaculately presented. And often the people that do branding and design, they've got amazing Instagram pages. You don't have to have an amazing grid or a piece of art on your Instagram profile for you to grow your following though. You can just have, a picture, some words, an infographic, a video. You can do that and still grow your following. So don't worry too much about it being meticulous, but definitely Instagram is a very visual channel. So if you're going to post a photograph, make it a good photograph. Don't post a photograph that's all grainy and pixelated. I use an iPhone. If you're using a sort of an iPhone that was out in the last sort of 2 or 3 years, the cameras on them are absolutely amazing now. What I would say is go onto portrait mode. So when you go into your photo app, go into the portrait mode and look for natural lighting or studio lighting. And both of those options make your photographs look even better. So you can get that nice blurry background that, professional photographers seem to, always make good use of. And that can help your Instagram to look really appealing. But yeah, don't think, Karen, that you have to have this amazing, immaculate Instagram profile grid to grow the channel. You don't. What you have to have on Instagram to grow your channel is engagement. That is the number one thing. So you aren't going to grow your followers if you don't have engagement with the followers that you've got. So for example, if your channel's really new, let's say you've got 10 followers, if you can get those 10 to engage with your posts and your stories, then Instagram will be more likely to show your posts to other people. So it will use the engagement from the channel that you've got, the hashtags that you use in each post, and then it will decipher, well, what should we do with this post? Will people comment? Yes, because the 10 that were there have been. Who should we show it to? Let's look at the hashtags. Right, we'll show it to those people. So you have to educate Instagram. And often I think with Instagram, people think that Instagram's trying to educate you, and it isn't. You have to educate Instagram. You have to tell Instagram that you have got a post that's worthy of reading, it's worthy of comments, it's worthy of shares. And when you do that and you use hashtags well, it will then show your posts to other people. So I won't really get into IGTV because that's more like video. That's sort of a whole other thing. What I will sort of get you thinking about though is the difference between a post and a story. For me, and I know, I'm not an Instagram trainer. I know a lot of Instagram trainers and they would go into a lot more detail, but in the main, a post is more strategic. It's more maybe branded. It needs to really be in sync with your overall reason and purpose for the channel. Your stories, though, can be anything. So they don't have to be corporate. In fact, they're better if they're not corporate. And when I say corporate, I don't mean, you have to talk the way that Apple talk. What I mean is it doesn't have to look slick and branded and like a reflection of your website. It doesn't have to look like that. On a story, it could just be you out for a walk, taking a picture or video of the trees and a lake and saying, look at this, isn't it beautiful? That is okay. Stories are for you to show your personality and show your audience what you're all about. So they get to look at your profile and look at your grid to see what the business message is. But when they look at stories, they're just really looking to get a glimpse into your life. So I would say share a lot on your stories, share your day, share what coffee you drink, share what bars you go to, share if you're out with your friends, share if you've just won a tennis match, or just share your life. But there are little strategic things that you can do to help Instagram to want to share your stuff to the right people. And that is use the location tag. So if you, when you're putting a story on, you get a little menu of the things that you can use. Cheers. You get to drop a little location marker. And what that's really good for is if you're trying to win business in your local town or region, if you drop that location pin in your story, then that tells Instagram that actually I should show this story to people in only that area. So if you are trying to, put in place a localized strategy, then using that location pin is really good. On that as well, on your stories, you get to use music, you get to add hashtags. And again, I would add a hashtag to every story because again, that will help Instagram to know who to show it to. So I feel like I've shared quite a lot. You must be bored of my voice by now. What I would say, one last thing, which Ben, if you're watching, who have we got watching? We've got a couple of people watching. We've got a question from Ben in the group, and he said that he would be interested in my views on how to use Instagram, or whether to use Instagram as a B2B marketing tool. The short answer, Ben, is yes, I would say it's good as a B2B marketing tool. But what I would say is it depends on the business that you're trying to target and who is it that's in control of their Instagram account. If you're trying to, and because I know you, Ben, I know roughly who you're trying to target. If you're trying to target a much bigger company, the person who's in control of the Instagram account is likely to be a marketing manager or maybe an outsourced marketing company. So you trying to engage with that target customer on stories, all you're going to get is their marketing manager. And that's fine if you're trying to target the marketing department. But, for me, with my other business, I'd be trying to target HR. Well, HR are never going to be in control of their Instagram account. So I can talk all I like to the person managing their account. But if I don't ask for the introduction to HR, I'm never actually going to be talking to the right person. So as a B2B tool, yes, Instagram is great, especially when the B2B is a small business or an entrepreneur where maybe they're in control of their own account. But I certainly wouldn't be put off, Ben, by trying to target your businesses on Instagram. I would just maybe have a slightly scaled back strategy. I try to do 2 posts a day, which is a lot. You don't really want to be doing that. I'd probably try to do 2 or 3 a week and see how you get on with that, just growing your following. So that's your question, Ben. Yes, I would think about it as a B2B tool. What did we have? We had, Carmen. Carmen, you were liking my gin and tonic. Cheers to you, Carmen. So Carmen, yeah, you've asked, can you post a story and use the same as a post? Well, the short answer is yes, you can and you could, but I wouldn't. So, as I was saying earlier, the post is more your business message. The story is more you as a person. So I would be saying, you know, where's Carmen been for breakfast? What's Carmen doing in her morning? Is Carmen planning some training or some, I don't know, is Carmen just met with her accountant or whatever? But I would tell the story of your day on your stories, but on your post I would stick to business. So hope that was useful, Carmen. What else do we have? We have Karen. What makes a perfect post? I kind of answered that earlier a little bit in my tips by saying a perfect post would have a hook, it would have the content, and the content has to add value. It can't just be have a nice day. It needs to tell the audience something valuable. And then the last bit is it has to have a call to action. So those are the three elements of the post. And then the very last thing is you must always use those hashtags. So that would be a perfect post. Just on the hashtags though, Karen, what I would say is you've always got to use different hashtags, or at least have a rotation, like have a batch of hashtags. So what I do is I have 6 batches of hashtags, and they are stored in the Notes app on my mobile phone, and I copy and paste on rotation so that I've got speed and efficiency when I'm trying to, you know, keep up with my Instagram posts. If you were to use the same batch of hashtags for, you know, 5 posts, Instagram would know it and it would recognize it, and it would downgrade your priority. So definitely don't try the copy and paste thing with just one batch. If you're going to do the copy and paste thing, have multiple batches and have them saved somewhere. So yeah, I hope that was useful for you, Karen. One other thing which is very useful actually is I've got 2 sides to my business. Sort of, they're very different actually. And one is very corporate, very branded, very traditional. And when we talk on that platform, we tend to talk very professionally. Whereas my Sales Mentor channel is much more, it's all about me, it's Rachel's knowledge, it's Rachel's history, it's Rachel's sharing, it's more about Rachel. Whereas the other business, I make it anything but Rachel, or I try to make it anything but Rachel. So what I've noticed is the speed of growth on the My Sales Mentor Rachel channel is much, much faster than the scale of growth on the corporate channel. Now, I don't know if that's just the fact that I've learned over the years, I've learned more about how to do it better, or maybe it's the choice of language, because on the more corporate channel, we talk a lot of we can do this together. Whereas on the My Sales Mentor channel, I talk a lot about you, my audience. Rachel is talking to you. And Instagram seems to like that better. I don't know, maybe if there is any Instagram experts watching, there certainly will be quite a few of them over on YouTube when I post this over there. Maybe you could answer that question for me, because there is definitely a difference in the speed of growth, and it's definitely more on the personal brand than it is on the business brand. So yeah, I thought I would share that with you. That, I think, my darlings, is all I have. We have a couple of questions come in the group. So what have we got? Hi, Karen. Yes, I'm looking forward. I hope you're still there. Oh, you are. I can see you've put a comment. Hello, my darling. Sarah Jane. Hello, Sarah Jane. Nice to have you here. So does anybody have any more questions? Oh, we've got somebody agreeing with me that the personal account is more popular than the business account. So yeah, I definitely think that is a thing. That is definitely a thing. So so yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. The only other thing I said I would share is right at the beginning, I said if you stay to the end, I've got a freebie for you. And so I'm going to share just quickly what that is. So on the 19th of August, next week at 7 p.m, so it's on a Wednesday the 19th, I'm doing a free webinar on Zoom on how to achieve financial freedom. I am going to share 4 steps that I think are absolutely vital, and they, to me, are the formula for any business owner, whether you're a small business, freelancer, one-man band, or maybe even slightly bigger than that, whatever type of business. There are 4 critical steps to follow to build financial freedom. And of course, financial freedom means different things to all of us, doesn't it? To me, it means freedom of choice, and it means having time in my life to do some of the things that I want to, rather than just work. To some people, financial freedom might mean becoming a millionaire. To other people, financial freedom might mean travel. It might just mean happiness. It might mean time with the family. It doesn't matter really what it means to you. We're going to explore what it means in the first part of the webinar, but then I'm going to share these 4 vital steps to achieve financial freedom. I will give you a word of warning though, there will be numbers, there will be mathematics in this webinar, because financial freedom, the word financial gives it away. There is an element of money in there. So even though, like me, you might be aiming for freedom of choice, there is still a cost on that. There is a question of what do I need my business to turn over and make profit-wise so that I can achieve the life I want. So we're going to explore that. I'm going to give you my framework, and during the webinar, you'll be able to ask questions. You'll be able to really interrogate me on my framework, and yeah, it's completely free. So that's next week on Wednesday, 7 o'clock UK time. I'm getting used to these over the pond time zones now, so that's 12 p.m. lunchtime if you are Pacific time, it's 2 p.m. if you are Central, and it's 3 p.m. if you are Eastern. So check me out. Did I get that right? Yes, I think I did. So yeah, I'm learning that. And the only other thing to mention is I've gone live with a 4-week, 4-module program for September. It should originally be $597, but I'm offering some free places. So you have to be quick to get the free places. If you want one of the free places, then you need to apply. And part of the application is I need you to tell me why it's important to you, because I'm only going to give the free places to people that demonstrate to me that it's really important to them. So I want to know that you're going to be able to commit to me and the training and the modules. I want to know that you are really prepared to work hard, because actually it's pointless signing up. It's pointless giving a free place to somebody who's going to do the first week and then flit away. So I want somebody to demonstrate to me that they are passionate and they are committed and they are going to work hard on the program, because at the end of the 4 weeks, you are going to have the keys to the castle. And what I mean by that is you're going to have a process, a real process to follow to grow and scale your business to 6 figures. So the 4 weeks, the first week is on mindset and money. The second week is on marketing for client attraction. The third week is on a methodology for client conversion, so basically how to sell. And the fourth week is on momentum, and that is how to put the steps in place to really grow and scale your business. So I am so excited about the program. It will be the first time I've run it. There will be an element of it that's pre-recorded videos, and there will be an element of it that is live training. Every Tuesday there will be live masterclasses, and every Thursday there will be participant masterminds, so smaller, more intimate groups. If you are watching live or you're watching on the replay and you want to apply, get in touch with me and I will share the link with you. So that's it from me. I've talked enough. I've earned my G&T. Cheers. And I will see you again, same time, same place, next week in the Facebook group. Thank you ever so much for watching. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.